Welcome in, everybody, here to East Texas tonight on East Texas Now. I do hope y'all are having a fantastic evening so far. We have some exciting interviews to get to, but tonight specifically, we're going to be talking to Stephen Rainwater. So with that said, if you don't know who I am, my name's Kylie Neal. Welcome in here to East Texas tonight. I do hope y'all are having a fantastic evening so far. You may recognize our guest tonight from a High Rocks competition, pacing through a local 5K or marathon, or even directing a show right here in town. Tonight's guest is someone who wears a lot of hats. It's Stephen Rainwater. Stephen has quite the background. Not only is he an experienced digital sales manager here in our building, but outside of work, he stays busy in some pretty impressive ways. He trains for High Rocks competitions and is currently directing Oklahoma at Theater Longview. Serves on the worship team at Church of the Pines and is part of an inaugural national cohort of 20 producers training to break into the world of Broadway producing. Well, our very own Leo Quevedo did this interview earlier today to kind of chat with Stephen and get the latest with Stephen Rainwater.
Texas tonight is a face that's pretty familiar to those of us who work at KLTV, but he is more than just our digital sales manager. I got that right.
Yeah,
right?
you perfect, Leo. Love
Digital
it.
sales manager. He also has a lot of other hats that he wears, whether it's competing in a High Rocks competition or running a marathon or even directing a show here in town. Stephen Rainwater joins us here on the program. How are you doing today?
Man, Leo, I'm doing pretty awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And it's so funny because you mentioned that I wear a lot of hats, but actually in real life, you will never see me with an actual physical hat on.
Not even like a beanie when it's cold?
No, not even a beanie. It's like a weird thing, and it's something that, some people are hat people in life, and I'm not that person. But yes, literally, I have to wear a lot of hats in different aspects of my life.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can sort of relate to that. I've never been much of a person to wear like baseball caps or anything, but I mean, if it gets cold, I'll throw on a beanie. But I can absolutely understand not being a hat person. But anyways, welcome to East Texas tonight. Let's go ahead and start talking about you, getting to know you more. So, as we said, you are involved in a lot of different areas, from your professional career to some pretty demanding activities outside of work, both a lot of time investment and also an investment into, the physical.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
tell me, what's been driving you lately to stay so active and engaged?
Well, I think from coming out of the womb, at a very young age, I have always been a very ambitious person and always loved being involved in a lot of different assorted activities in my life. And a lot of that is that I'm one of those kind of types that never meets a stranger. And I love meeting new people, and I love challenging myself to new experiences. So I think that's just really important, in life, because it's so easy, especially when you have a full-time job, to do the job and then come home. And I think it's always great to kind of sharpen that toolbox, that life toolbox, so to speak, and kind of learn some new traits and pick up some new skills.
I love that attitude you got. Honestly, don't take this the wrong way, but you kind of remind me of my parents' dog.
The dog.
Yeah, not because
Okay.
you resemble it, but she's never met a stranger. She's always friendly with everybody. So and that's how my mom describes it. She's never met a stranger. So
I love that.
You get along with everybody.
Yes.
I can very much tell that you're you're a pretty lively person. You probably light
Yes.
up a room.
Yes. Well, and it's one of those things. I started at a very young age doing theater when I was about. I think my debut theater performance was when I was 6 years old, and it was my church's Christmas program. And I'm pretty sure I had 3 lines in it. And I just remember thinking, even as a 6-year-old, that I am going to make the most out of these 3 lines that I have. And I did. In some cases, it may have been a little bit too much. I may have been a little bit too show-offy there. But that really kind of started my career of just really being in front of people and just being from a performance aspect. And then that really kind of has evolved into my career, working with people in sales, both managing our wonderful sales team, but also working with clients, and in some cases really emphasizing the importance of what it means to market your business, but also too being passionate about what we're selling, because everybody has widgets, everybody has something with it, but if you're not passionate about it, and if you don't have an excitement for it, then to me it's like, if you're not excited, they're not going to be excited. So it's important for you to have passion and enthusiasm, because then your clients are going to be passionate and enthusiasm. But it has to come from an authentic place. So you really have to work and learn and adapt and grow and always kind of push yourself, to never have something that feels stagnant, so to speak. And so really kind of having that philosophy, I've used that in multiple facets, of my life. And, what I always tell people is that it's always important to eat 3 meals a day. It's always important to drink plenty of water, and it's always important to get plenty of sleep. And so that's the key there.
I got one of those things.
Yes. Okay. You got one of those things. So family always comes first, no matter what, and all the busyness. So you always have to really make sure that your family is still at the center of it, no matter what. But, the good Lord has given us a lot of time to utilize in our life. And so it's important to utilize it as best you can outside of that 8 to 5 job. So
couldn't have said it better myself. Really great words of wisdom from you. You seem like somebody who's learned a lot throughout your life, and has kind of maybe not perfected, but really taken to heart a lot of the lessons you were taught.
Absolutely. And you know what? Everybody you come in contact in life, everybody you meet in life is not a coincidence. And you would be amazed at just some of the connections, and I can go into this in what's going on right now, of people that have been in my life for decades, and now, they were in my life for a reason, and now I'm being able to collaborate, work with, et cetera, on different areas that I'm passionate about that help enhance my life and my skills towards that.
Well, now let's talk about some of those things that you're interested in life
Sure.
outside of work. First of all, you're pretty into fitness. Tell us
Yes.
more about how you ended up, becoming somebody who not just worked out, but also participated in these really demanding physical challenges.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. So I've always had a little bit of the gym bug in me, but it's been very much so at a elementary level. And as the picture you saw right there, there's that, I have a grimace of doom in my high rocks competition there. But it's been something, that's always been a part of my life, but it's something that, I kind of did it to check a box. And that's one thing I've just kind of learned with me personally, is that, like, I can't just check a box on something. If I'm going to commit to something, I am going to commit to it. And so, came to a point in my life, and it's about 2.5 years ago specifically, to where I was kind of just doing the checkbox, and I really wanted to push myself. And it was more of kind of a mindset of, hey, let's just see what happens. So it wasn't so much just a specific goal of like, I want to hit, this percent body fat and this much muscle and all that stuff. It was more so like, I want to like enhance and make my life better, both physically and also spiritually. And so I just went all in with that. And, if you would have told me even a year and a half ago that I would have just completed my first High Rocks race, which occurred in Houston, I would have said you were crazy.
Now, before you go on, what is a high rocks
Oh,
race?
man. Okay. Well, I don't know. First off, I'm going to say this. It is both the most amazing, exhilarating experience of my life, and also one of the hardest and worst at the same time. It's kind of funny. I don't know where the term high rocks came from. I'm sure somebody can do a quick Google search and just see that. But essentially, it is a ultimate kind of marathon-based type race that mixes in running, but then also with physical aspects of it. So, for instance, you end up running about 6-ish so miles in the duration of this entire race, and it's within an indoor convention center. So I just did one in Houston. I'll be doing one in Dallas at the end of the year. Shout out to my High Rocks partner, Ramsey Starks. Hopefully we'll be watching this, an amazing dude. But essentially, it is a running-based race You can do it solo, or like you can do it with a partner. And then you have specific station stops. So you'll run 2 laps specifically around the convention center, and then you'll go to the skiers. So that's the ski drop downs, and then you and your partner have to do that for so many meters, up to 1,000. Then once you finish, you run 2
Wait,
more
but hold
laps.
on. You're skiing indoors?
No, well, it's like a skier, like a stand-up skier.
Oh,
so
it's like a machine.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
machine.
okay. I was
So
about
like you're
to
standing
say,
up,
like,
you're
wow.
doing that, and you have to do X amount of meters, and then once you complete that, you run 2 more laps, and then you go to the sled pull. So you pull a sled a specific distance, there and back, then run 2 more laps. Then you do a sled push. Do that for a specific distance, then run 2 more laps. Then you come back, and it just keeps going. There's a burpee station.
Goodness.
There is a weighted lunges station. Of course, I'm going to forget something off the top of my head. There is a row machine station of you have to do so much. So there is 8 in all, and it finishes up with a wall ball station of doing so many wall balls, where it's a squat down, you throw the ball up, squat down, do the ball up. And what was just so appealing about this was just the community of my gym at F45 Legacy Trail. A little shout out to those guys that go all in with this High Rocks race and have competitors from the gym who compete there. And it's just kind of something, once you get into it, you can do all the training in the world, and you get there, and it's like this tremendously hard, awesome, at the same time kind of party where there's like a DJ, there's music blaring, you have people cheering you on. It is something that I'm just so thankful that I had just the physical ability to be able to do it, because I know not everybody has that opportunity. And so I really kind of stress all the time of just like, I don't have to do this, but like I like get to do this. And so that's just kind of the mindset of always pushing myself. But I got to tell you, I was in the middle of that race, and we ended up getting a time of 1 hour and 14 minutes, which
An
were
hour and 14 minutes of nonstop.
And
Holy
so
moly.
looking at times on that, really like elite times are within that 1 hour base period. So that is a goal for next go around. But then if you do an AI search, I think an average time is 120 to 130 for like
So you're
doubles
above
mids.
average.
So we were in that above average category. So
we
I was
go.
very thankful for that. But I just remember there was a point whenever I was running, and I was just, you're in the middle of it, and I'm like, well, I can't stop. I got to keep going. Even though I'm feeling it, my body hurts. You just have to keep running endurance. And I really have to credit the F45 team just for being there to help me get to that endurance level, which is something that, I would go to the gym before, and I would get on a treadmill and I would lift weights and stuff. But just to get into that specific physical condition to be able to do that, that was a pretty cool experience. And I'm excited to do one and hopefully do better in November of this year in Dallas.
I can't even imagine what that journey has been like, to go from somebody who, maybe just goes on the treadmill once in a while, and then to competing in these sorts of challenges. I mean, that must have involved a real change in lifestyle and a change in mindset too.
At 100%, its mindset is the biggest thing, I would have to say, and also to just getting plenty of rest and just being dedicated to the process. So, I'll get up early. I'll be in either a 5 a.m. or a 6 a.m. class every day.
Oh, wow.
Or every day during Monday through Friday. And so that's just kind of that. It's that choice of just getting up. And yeah, it would be nice to sleep in. We all love sleep, right? But it's just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get into routine. And through that, I've made so many great friendships and bonds with people there. And I already had a great community of friends in my life and family members, but this just added on like a whole nother kind of like layer to it. So I recommend anybody, just from a state of yourself, it's a great thing to do, to take that plunge, to join a gym, and not just join a gym, join a community, go into classes, meet people. It's just high recommend, 10 out of 10. So.
Yeah, well, definitely, I could take some of that advice. I've been trying to, work out more, but haven't joined any sort of like class setting. But I feel like that could be very helpful.
It's a nice enthusiastic, push. And some days are harder than others. Like some days it's been a long week. You
You
wake
don't
up,
feel
you're
like doing
tired, you
anything.
don't feel like doing it. And so I'm really glad I've kind of gone with this process. I'm getting close to my 1,000th class with the gym. So that'll happen actually fairly soon. So I'm really excited about that. But I don't know. Like I said again, I think the point of it is it's like don't get so bogged down into like what is my goal here? What is my end game? But more so like, okay, let's just see what happens. And then something cool happens. It's like, okay, well, let's see if this next cool thing can happen. And then you just so on and so on.
It's the
So
journey, not the destination.
100%.
Great. All right. Now, apart from the gym, you also like to spend time on stage. Is that
Yes.
correct? In theater. Tell us more about that. I mean, you sort of alluded to this earlier, saying that you, from a young age,
Yes. Yes.
enjoyed theater, participated in theater. But what do you think is responsible for helping like keep you in that world to this day?
Theater has always been a part of my life in some form or fashion. And it's so funny too because in my family there's nobody else that really has been involved with it, like so to speak. And so it's just been kind of like my little thing since day one. It's something I enjoy doing and I kept doing it as a kid. I've been very blessed, yeah, as an adult that it was a minor of mine in college, but I have been able to keep up with it either from an acting standpoint or a directing standpoint, through community theaters, East Texas theaters, doing regional productions, as well as statewide commercials that run.
Oh,
So
really?
yes, 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 yes. So like a lot of random kind of gigs that have kind of come up just as a result of just I call it like a hobby thing, and I'm thankful to have a job that I have where I'm able to do that, after hours, whenever I have time to. But it definitely is, it's a commitment, and it's something that I always kind of say. It's kind of like the mafia. It's kind of like I'm like more of like a get in, do the gig, and then take a break and everything because you have to. But then like they always draw you back in with something else because it's such a rush, just not the community that's involved in it and all the hard work they put in it, but just being able to perform for an audience and seeing just the magic of lighting up people's eyes and watching people smile and just be happy from this experience and just having a couple hours where they can just escape their troubles, and be able to see a awesome live stage production because it is still to this day, it is, in my view, it is the most important, it's special form of entertainment that's out there that you're not going to get from watching something on streaming on TV or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like seeing something live happening in front of you. And so I'm very thankful, to have that. And I'm actually directing a show right now as a part of this.
So talk about that. What show are you directing?
Yes. So this actually is kind of a unique opportunity. So I've typically done stuff when I've directed. It's always been in Tyler, with my friends over at Tyler Civic Theater. Hey, Tyler Civic Theater. But this one, I actually was reached out to by Theater Longview, which is an awesome organization. That has not been around as long, but is growing just rapidly and has had just a lot of success. And I'm directing their summer musical production of Oklahoma with an exclamation point, which I was really excited about. Oklahoma, I got to be in when I was 14 years old, a freshman in high school. I had 5 lines, and one of the lines was, woo-wee, too rich for my blood, can't afford no more. And I said that. I'm not going to yell it out from this newsroom because I think I'll get people's attention. But I said that with so much gusto, and I had a wonderful theater director, Jan Jones, and a wonderful music director, Tommy Butler, who are both no longer with us, and they really made an impact on my life. So when this opportunity came up specifically for Oklahoma here at Theater Longview, I knew it was kind of that little like nudge in my heart that this was a great project that I needed to take. And we just started rehearsals 2 weeks ago, and we got an incredible cast, and it actually opens July 31st, so in a couple months. So we're really excited about it, and I'm just thankful for the Theater Longview Group for giving me the opportunity, and we're having a great time.
That's funny because I also, when I was in grade school, I also participated in theater and musicals
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So I sort of have that background, though
Yeah.
I did end up, getting out of that just because I sort of lost interest after one time I didn't get picked for a show.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean, and you can't help it. It's like, you get so invested in it, and and it's one of those things. Like, I think it's been great for just like character building. And I tell people all the time, it's like, any kind of time I've had like a new gig opportunity or job opportunity or et cetera, et cetera. I always tell people, one of my strengths in life is I think I have the ability to work with any kind of personality. And the reason being is because I've worked with every kind of personality when it comes to a theater-based production. But that's what I love about it. It's people coming together from all walks of life with one specific purpose and focus. So.
now, before we wrap things up here, I do want to mention one more thing that is really cool that you've got. You've got an arcade.
Oh.
You got an arcade, and that is just awesome. We got to show some of the pictures that we've got, but tell us how this all came to be.
Well, what's funny about that arcade is that was a COVID hobby, actually. So in 2020, with the mask on, I walk into a Best Buy, and there is a company called Arcade One Up that makes 3/4 editions of full-scale arcade machines. So it's not a full arcade machine. Those would weigh like 1,000 pounds each, and they're humongous, right? And so, anyways, I saw an NBA Jam, and I loved NBA Jam when I was a kid, and I was like, this is pretty cool.
So you grew up going to arcades?
Oh yeah,
and playing?
yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Like
what kind of games did you play growing up?
Oh man, sports games, fighting games, based like Ninja Turtles, and The Simpsons, and a lot of sports-related games, Terminator, etc.
What about
Pinball.
what about the classics like Pac-Man?
Pac-Man, Galaga, 100%.
You ever play Mappy? That one's my favorite.
Yeah, Mappy is pretty cool. I actually have that on one of my arcades.
Great,
So
awesome.
anyways, I started with one. And then that turned into 2, and then that turned into 3, and then I ended up using my office room at my house as a full-scale arcade. And then I had a lot of fun with it, added in lights, the 90s arcade carpet, and everything. And so it's a full kind of like space and room for me. And it really, it serves as 2 things. I love having a cool decor room, within my residence, but then also it's just fun just as like an escape, especially after you've had a long day and you got a lot going on, and it just helps kind of, clear the head a little bit. And so I'm very thankful to that's been that was 2020, an almost 6-year process to get to the point it has now. So I'm really excited just about that. And now I'm completely out of space. And so, definitely anybody's interested in that, I may get some new stuff eventually. And so we'll be selling that on Facebook Marketplace, here and there. So we'll see.
That is really cool, and I mean, even just taking a look at this one photo that you showed us, you've got these nice neon lights.
Yes.
Did you get that Rainwater arcade custom made?
That was custom, yes. Everything
Man.
else is, from different sites and or the friends at Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. But my big thing was just like, let's just like brighten up the space. I'm a huge Super Mario fan, like huge. And so what you can't see in that picture is that there's a lot of Mario-based decor that is up there of Mario jumping over different obstacles like man-eating plants and, fireballs and, all that kind of fun stuff.
That's pretty cool.
So,
I'm originally from Frisco, and there they have the National Video Game Museum. Have you ever been?
I've been there.
It's so cool, isn't it?
It's so, it's so funny. It's such a hidden gem. I don't think enough people know about it.
Really,
but
truly,
it's truly incredible. And then, of course, once you finish the tour, they have like a humongous arcade.
Yes, exactly.
That you can go in there too as well. I went there a couple years back, and I was very, very impressed with it. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. That's awesome.
So impressive.
Yeah.
Every time I get the opportunity to like take a friend there, I always do it, and I end up.
It's so nice.
And
it's
I
a
end
nice
up,
spot.
I know, and I
Yeah.
end up being the unofficial tour guide because I just. When I was younger, video games were like my number one interest.
Yeah.
It's kind of been supplanted by
Yeah.
politics, but I still absolutely love like learning about video game history and all the different
nostalgia,
hardware
retro.
and
And honestly, when people ask me about stuff today, I don't play anything today. Like, I just there's something special about those old arcade machines, and it's just something that's always been a part of my life. So anyways, yeah, it's just something I never would have thought would have been on my life bucket list. But, I think I'm definitely an advocate of work hard, play hard. And so you really have to have that time to unwind, and that's one of my unwinds for sure. So.
All right. Well, that was Stephen Rainwater, the KLTV digital sales manager. But as we know, he is much more than that. He is a theater nerd, a arcade nerd, exercise nerd, all sorts of nerds.
Just all the nerds,
All the
right there.
nerds.
So, and I wanted to mention too, just on the theater side, one thing that's really awesome is that through my experiences with theater, I've gotten to meet some incredible people that are now working in the industry. So that is a full circle thing. Very special individuals who have been on Broadway that work in stage management in New York. And one gentleman I just want to give a shout out to, Mr. Hunter Region, who is a Tony Award-winning Broadway producer and just picked up some new Tony nominations just yesterday as the Tony nominations dropped.
wow.
But I bring up Hunter because I am a part of an inaugural producing cohort that his company, Region Entertainment, has put on, and it is essentially training if you're interested in looking at becoming a producer on Broadway. And so very, very cool things, and I'm learning a lot. And so I say that because, I always feel like life, you always want to adapt, you always want to learn, you always want to see what you can do to make things better. And so I'm just really, really thankful for that. So.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on our show. It was a pleasure to chat with you and get to know you on a more personal level. Learn what you
Absolutely.
do outside of work. Always fun here on East Texas.
All right, everybody, that was our very own Leo Quevedo and Stephen Rainwater. We're going to now go ahead and take you guys over here to a break, and don't forget we don't have weather extra tonight, so we'll see you guys here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.